I'm at the Vignoble Musée Barrot tasting room with Amélie Barrot. Amélie, actually the winery is split in between the Roches and Château Bressy.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell something about Roches and Château Bressy?
Mm-hmm. The Château des Roches is the historical estate of the family. We have owned this estate for more than 70 years now. Mm-hmm. And it's an estate of something like 45 hectares of red and wine grape varieties.
Mm-hmm.
And the Château de Bressy is more recent in the family patrimony. We bought the Château de Bressy in 2003, mm-hmm. So it's recent, and it's much more smaller. It's only 5 hectares estate, so it's mostly red. We do a little bit of white also, but a very, very small production.
Okay, and the vineyards are close to the vineyards of
Roches. Yeah, exactly. The two estates are very close together. But I mean, the Roches is more at the top of the hill, mm-hmm. and on parts of the slopes, the last slope of the appellation. Château de Bressy is at the beginning of the plain, mm-hmm. Yeah. And we have some of the white, especially of the Château de Bressy on the slopes, but mm-hmm. mostly is at the beginning of the plain in the south part of the appellation.
Okay. For the people who want to know the exact location, they can check my book. There are plenty of maps in the book. To give you an idea, when you come from direction of Avignon and Sorgue, you go in direction of Châteauneuf-du-Pape, you cannot miss to the right the Roches, the
exactly.
Château. Amélie, you put together a range of wines. How are we going to taste the Château Bressy, the white, and the Roches white, mm-hmm. and then 3 reds?
Yeah, the 3 cuvées that we produce in Châteauneuf-du-Pape.
So we start with the Château Bressy.
Mm-hmm. This one is the 2009 vintage for mm-hmm. the Château de Bressy.
What's the cépage? What's the blend of this wine?
So this wine is a blend of 50% Grenache and 50% Roussanne that we vinify and age 50% in concrete tanks mm-hmm. and 50% in barrels.
Okay.
But the aging is not too long because we don't want to produce oaky white. We want to preserve maximum the fruits, so we let the wine something like 9 to 10 months into barrels.
Okay, and they're already blended then at that time?
Yeah. We blend because at the Château de Bressy the 2 grape varieties are blended into the plot.
Okay.
You know, so we don't have a plot of Roussanne and a plot of Grenache.
And you block the mellow on this one?
Not on this one. Not on the Château de Bressy, because you know in barrels it's quite difficult to control that. Yeah. We don't do the mallow for the Roches, but sometimes it can be done for the Château de Bressy, and the 2009 it is done.
I understand. It's a very expressive nose already. Yeah. It's just opened and.
Usually we don't we don't present the white for the Château de Bressy too early because it needs time to open and to get complex and aromas. So yeah, I mean 09 is probably the best vintage for the white Château de Bressy right now.
Okay.
But we still have some older vintages like 2005 and 2006, which are very, very, very good.
Okay, also. Sounds great. very nice silky round mouthfeel. And then you get the spices, very spicy or flowery flavors. There's a lot of things going on. It's quite complex.
Yeah, it's
you get a nice melon.
Something exotic, you know, like mangoes.
I get the finish.
Yeah.
The mango and a long finish.
Yeah. And it's usually a wine that we advise on a meal and not by himself, by itself.
Okay.
It's it's a wine that needs to be accompanied, you know, that by food.
Yeah.
Because it's very complex.
Very nice. And then the Vin Roche, the white. We have let's cepage of this.
The blend is made from Grenache, white Grenache for 50% of the blending, and we add Clairette, Bourboulenc, and Roussanne. But in this one, the Roussanne is a very small percentage. It's only 10% of the blending.
And how much is the Bourboulenc in percentage?
And Clairette, 20% of each.
And the Bourboulenc?
20.
Also,
and Clairette.
each? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the Bourboulenc is important for the freshness.
Exactly. And the Clairette, the fruity part of the wine.
And is the aging done and partly the same?
No, only concrete tanks for the Vin Roche, and we try to do the bottling very close to the harvest to get more fruit and freshness into the wine. So it's a completely different style of white. It's
the nose is
more vivacity. Very nice fruits, and it's also a little bit floral, but mostly fruit in it.
I just wanted to say floral nose. So it's,
also. This one can be tasted alone, I mean for aperitif, but it can go very well also on fish. And what we really like is pouring it with cheese, because usually, and especially when the wine is a little bit older, it becomes rounder and with the same vivacity, so that make it good with cheese, but rounder and
Of course, you mean Dutch cheese, Gouda or Amsterdam, or
I would say
French?
first French.
Okay, but afterwards some Dutch.
Why not?
Okay.
Why not?
Okay. So I'm sorry, I'm Dutch. You see the freshness, and there's the palette is a little bit different. It's a bit lighter style, and then but it's still good complexity, and then a long finish. With some citrus fruit and a little bit of melon, and very nice. So then we jump to your first red wine.
So the first is the traditional cuvee of the Château des Vin Roches. So this one is 2009. Probably one of the best vintage that we have known for, I would say, 15 years or 10 years, because we had very good vintages, but 09 is very good one.
Okay, I don't know.
On the same level as 2005, 2007. So very good, good one. And this cuvee in particular is made from mainly Grenache, but it's something like 70% of the blending. And then we use Syrah, Cinsault, Mourvèdre, Muscardin, and a little bit of Counoise also in it. So it's large blending.
Okay.
And we want it very, very easy drinking Châteauneuf du Pape. We don't look for powerfulness or big structure. We want it very elegant, very
with
fine.
upfront fruit and everything in balance.
That's why we don't do a very long aging for this cuvée. I mean, we keep the wine at least 1 year into foudre for 2/3 of the blending, and the rest is kept in tanks, and then we do the blending, before the bottling. Ripe fruits.
Yeah, a lot of fruit, cherry, framboise, and of course licorice and a little bit creaminess, touch of garlic. That's Provençal, so that's not bad. Now everything is there, but it's not a bombastic style.
But we don't look for. So I mean, we will never find that type of style on this traditional cuvée from the estate.
Yeah, I understand. But there's still a good tannic structure, mainly soft.
Young right now.
But good structure is always important. You can keep the wine for a long time.
And usually even if we don't have a very big and deep structure on this cuvée, it ages very well and very constantly. You know, and the wine, age very well.
Because it's a good acidity and tannin and alcohol that makes preserve
good
the
balance
wine,
of all those factors.
Interesting. Very nice. Then you have a wine from 2008.
It's the vintage I take for the Château de Bressy. 08 is a very, very nice vintage to be tasted right now. I mean, it's very, very fruity vintage. It probably won't last so long. I mean, not as long as the 2007 or the 2009, but it's a very, very enjoyable vintage at that moment.
Because it was a difficult vintage for you, a lot of rain?
A lot of rain during the harvest, so we have to sort a lot during this vintage, so that means that we lost a big part of the production, but to keep the best. So that's why it's also a good vintage, but a little bit.
Because it's a little bit underrated by the press, and that I think I said it before many times that you will be impressed by the quality of the 08. So we check if it's the same with this. So it's tricky now, but to say, but in advance, but. especially because it's so approachable right now in general for the 08.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you can drink a Châteauneuf at young age. Of course, you can drink the more heavier style of Châteauneuf at young age as well, but it's better to keep them a couple of years. But this is already drinkable and very easy to match with any cuisine.
Yeah, exactly. They don't need game. They can go with red meat, but beef or even fish, and especially the 2008, which is a lighter, I would say, lighter vintage. It can go perfectly with fish.
I like to make, and that's maybe not to do with the wine, but I think food is related to wine. So to make a kind of bechamel with a little bit of licorice in the bechamel sauce,
really?
And then you add it to the fish, and you have a very good link to
with the wine.
Yeah.
Okay.
The concentration is good.
It's good.
A lot of red fruit. Nice spicy, a little bit of truffle.
The blending is a little bit different from the previous one because it's also a Grenache-based blending, but it's almost 90% of the blending. And then we use to go with a little bit of Mourvèdre and a little bit of Syrah.
Okay.
It's 90% Grenache.
Well, still, it's grippy. It's not watery. People think, okay, they had a lot of rain. Doesn't mean that the wine is diluted. So,
yeah, but it's not the case here.
No, for sure not.
Still concentrated, and we have not made the same aging. I mean, not as long as usual for the Château de Bressy. Usually, for normal vintage, we let the wine 1 year and a half into barrels and into food before we bottle, and then we keep the wine in bottle for a while. But for the 2008, we let the wine 1 year.
Okay.
It was enough to get the concentration that we want on the cuvee. So we let the wine 1 year.
Yeah, this is a great example for wine Châteauneuf that drinks very well young age, for sure. So we go to the last wine. That's the special cuvee. It's for people who just sometimes wonder that it's a white label. Sometimes they call it a white label.
Yeah, because it's the most distinctive point that when you see the two labels of the Fine Roche, it's the one where we have the white. And this is the selection of the very old vines of the estate of Château des Fines Roches.
How old on average?
They are something around 90 years old for most of them.
Okay.
Grenache and Syrah. The Mourvèdre is a little bit younger. It's something around 70 years old, so it's
But
younger.
you have quite a good production of this, 15, 20,000
no,
10,000?
Less than that.
Yeah.
We produce only 50 hectoliters, so it's something like 6,000 and
maybe you have to
500.
check the book.
Yeah, we have never produced more than 50 hectoliters on this cuvée, and we don't produce it every year.
Okay.
Only if the vintage worth it, I would say.
Oh, a lot of dark fruit in the nose, eh?
Yeah.
It's a truffle.
Yeah. So this one is young, so it's 2009, but effectively the most distinctive characteristic of this wine, when we open it, usually, I mean, at that time we open more 05 or 06, and when we open the bottle, it's the truffle which comes out first.
You can smell it.
This one is a little bit discreet. I mean, it's not so intense.
But I'm sensitive to truffle. So, you know, and it's truffle season right now, so truffle everywhere. So. Well, it's for sure a bigger style, but with still finesse, a lot of finesse and a lot of things going on. Eh? Well, you can imagine that this will age very well.
Yeah. And we still have 2001 that we opened recently, and it was wonderful.
That's great to go back in time and see what your wine you produced.
And we try to keep some old vintages at the cellar to let people buy some when they can.
They can see what.
Because the Château du Pape is a wine that can age very well. So if you don't have the chance to have the good cellar to let the wine age, we do that for people that they can't do that, and because it's a very nice experience to open an old vintage of Château du Pape.
The really high standard quality for all wines, and I think they are very complementary in style. That's what I tell people when they are looking for a specific style. Just try a bottle. Do not watch the vintage. Just give a wine a chance and trust your own palate. And I'm sure whenever you get a chance to get hold on one of these bottles, you'll really be able to enjoy the wine. Amélie, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.